first of all, about poached egg. No. Yeah, it says new research has found that parents who ridicule, threaten or humiliate their children risk them leaving with a 64% higher chance of having poor mental health when they grow up. Kate, what do you make of these findings?
Well, I'll defer to my colleague to start with, if I may,
yes,
because he says it's a rubbish survey.
Well, listen, I think we need to define terms really carefully here, because it sounds, on the face of it, as you described, absolutely awful, that verbal abuse of your child could lead them to have far more mental health problems, potentially, than physical abuse. I think we all know what physical abuse of a child looks like. You actually have to hit them. But what does it mean to threaten a child? And the author of the study actually say that they were unable to measure the severity of either type of abuse. So when we threaten... So I was thinking about this. So my children get threatened by me. And the threat is, if you don't brush your teeth when I tell you to, or you don't go to bed when I ask, you won't get the PlayStation tomorrow, or you won't get to go bowling, or whatever it is. You know, summer holidays, you're just trying to throw whatever activity at the wall you can.
That's a bit strong, though.
But is that a threat?
But it's
That's
also
kind
it's
of
a fine line between a threat and a boundary. That's a boundary.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think you have to
That's
choose your words.
encouragement to stay within the boundaries of
I
how
agree
to
with
kind
you,
of
yeah.
make family life work and be smooth.
If you say to a kid, your child, you're useless,
Yes, absolutely.
or you embarrass me, then that is very damaging, I think, for that child. But if you say, if you don't do this, I'll give you something to cry about, then I think that's sort of just within the parameters of what's acceptable.
Sometimes Emma says to me before we go on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. She looks
I
after you.
suppose it's the psychological damage, isn't it, and childhood trauma and mental abuse in that respect that is then going to have an impact as these children grow, and maybe things that have been said in your more formative years are then going to have a knock-on effect to your mental health as you get older.
I can understand that, because they're the people that, you know, you love and trust most in the world, who are there to care for you at any given moment. They keep calling you an idiot or ridiculous or whatever, then you're going to take that on board. I do think, though, OK, the difference between the threat and the boundary, it is I think, quite important that the kids do have some boundaries, rather than a worry that, oh, God, if I lay down a boundary, is it going to upset them too much and they're going to have terrible mental health conditions down the line. It is quite important to tell your kids no.
Yeah. Do you guys worry about what you sort of say to your children?
Well, my child's 32, so not so much.
He says a lot back.
Yeah, he does.
But do you ever look back? I suppose we know so much more about mental health now, and about the impact that words can have.
The phrase that always impacted on my child and left him chastened was, if I said to him, I love you, but I don't like you very much at the moment, he used to think, oh, can you... Yeah, that's...
My wife genuinely still says that to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it's like, I think it's OK to go, like, she goes, I do love you, but today I don't like you. And that's OK. And so it's interesting, that thing between a boundary and a threat. I worry the young child. I'm like, every 10 hours again, you might say something, you're like, oh, is this going to affect them for the rest of their life? Oh, no! You know, it's hard to know what that boundary is sometimes, I think.
I think you do, don't you? When you're a first-time parent as well, and it's all very new, like, you're just worried and nervous and scared about everything.
What happens when they talk back? I'm not quite there yet. Mine are 10 and 8. So they do talk back a bit, but not in a sort of particularly horrendous way. What happens? What do you do then?
Well, you just have to... That's when you have to start to refine your arguments.
Right, okay,
And sometimes, my son now will say to me, I'll say to him, I'm your mother, and he'll say, well, if you're the adult, you need to act like one.
God, you're going to have problems.
I imagine with you guys, you're so good at getting your points across and writing notes and having an argument with you guys must be absolutely awful.
If I shout the phone number to call in at my children enough times, they will eventually know that they have to ring in.
They ring in to LBC.
We're gonna stick on a theme of children, but kind of older children this time. And would you let your adult child or children move back to help them buy a house? So 8 in 10 first-time buyers moved back in with their parents to avoid paying rent and save more. So would you welcome back your adult children if it meant they could be on the ladder?
Yes, I think that's... Yeah, my son actually has just moved in with his partner for the first time. They've got their property, they've got the Cocker Spaniel puppy. They're living their best life. I realise they're very privileged. Not all kids are able to do that to start with. But, of course, as long as you, for a finite period of time, can absolutely allow your kids to come... Certainly, I would have done that. I also think, whatever, I've always said to my child, if you need me, come home, whatever the circumstances, whether it's property or whatever it is. If you are in a position where you need your mother, come home and we'll make it work.
Yeah.
Bed and board, please. I think a little fee at the end of the month, just to cover some costs.
How old did you say yours were?
10 and 8, they've got time. Yeah, exactly, not right at this stage. I think the problem is
Maybe
that this...
put them up the chimney to...
Yeah, exactly, yeah, they send them out to work. The problem is that this is happening more and more and more because the average age at which you buy a house has just gone up enormously. I think the average age is about 32, 33. But the comparisons between 30 years ago are extraordinary. In 1996, 2/3 of 30 to 34-year-olds owned their own home, and the majority of them lived with a partner or their child. And by the mid-2010s, that is now less than half. And you think the difficulty now of being able to buy a house, it's harder to buy a house now than it was in the Victorian era.
Says who?
Says all the studies that compare rates of mortgage, the average wage to house price was back then about 2 or 3 times. It's now over 7 times the average wage.
Still very hard to buy. I bought my first property in
Never
1980 when I was 19, and interest rates were 15%. 15%.
Wow.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But the income gap between the house that you could buy and what you were earning was less, for sure.
It didn't feel like it at the
time.
time.
I bet.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like it at the time. 2010, 29 was the average age of buying a mortgage, and then last year it was 30, but in London it's 35 plus.
Yeah, yeah. And there is a massive, massive problem here for the next generation coming through. I often make a comparison with The Simpsons. Do you remember The Simpsons? That was the sort of... that was the family that was the odd family, the average family. You know, dad went out and worked, mum stayed at home. They had a house. They had 3 kids. Homer Simpson, I think, was 33.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now that's like aspirational.
Yeah.
The Simpsons has become the aspiration for a lot of people.
That's so interesting.
Which is weird, isn't it? That's happened.
That's
terrible.
fascinating. And do you think? I mean, Emma, how would you feel about your kids coming back in and moving in with you in sort of their 20s, their 30s?
I don't want them to leave. I mean, one's only 9,
You
so
say that.
she's not going anywhere yet. But my eldest is 16, so she's very much getting the feels of when I move out and when I do this, I'm like, how do I keep you here for as long as possible? So I would, like Kay, I think I would always come back no matter what it is.
Well, when she's 32
I always want you back.
and she's still there, and you're charging bed and board.
I think that's all right, though. I'm like, yes, as long as you're kind of...
Would you ever?
No, but, you know, you'd like to think that maybe occasionally they'll cook you dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Or take you out for dinner.
Or take you out for dinner. Make sure they keep their room clean.
Yeah.
I hope they're not watching because they're going to be taking all these
Yeah,
notes.
that's it.
They're going to be going, you said this and you said
The
that.
transition period is when they go to university. They'll naturally move out at 17. 17 when they can drive, that they become much more independent. So you've got that just around the corner. 18 when they go to uni, generally they've gone, and then they only come back if they need to.
I don't want them to go.
Speaking of teenagers, according to new research, teenagers are eating parents out of house and home over the summer, with food shops coming to an average of £441 each week.
No,
I
I think it's
can relate.
89% of parents with
Must
teens
be
saying
a
their
month.
children are always hungry.
I can relate to that
about a week.
with children eating you out of house and home because they don't stop when they're at home.
Really?
Yeah.
£400 a week.
It must be a month. Can't be. That's 20 odd grand a year. Can't be right.
That's
a hell of a team.
Yeah.
That is an awful lot, isn't it?
Average as well. Wow.
That's crazy.
Mr. Lidl here.
I love me a Lidl.
Oh,
yeah, I
yes,
love me a Lidl.
please.
I mean, you have to get
Other
the veg.
supermarkets are available.
Sure. But are they as good?
Yes.
You have to get the veg. You have to get the veg very quickly from the shop into a fridge, otherwise it does go within about an hour and a half. But it is, I love it, it's sensational there.
It doesn't
It's
happen at
phenomenal.
Waitrose, darling.
I don't, well, I'm sure it doesn't. When you transport it in the car, I'm sure it's lovingly packaged and taken care of.
As we said, plenty more other supermarkets available.
There we are.
Sorry.
It's so, that just seems absolutely
You've
mad.
got all this to come, Joel.
I know, this is what's petrifying for me, because I'm hearing you guys all talk about all this various different stuff, and I just feel petrified every day. I
Don't be scared.
There's so
Embrace
much
it.
future ahead of us.
So much future.
Being a parent is
so
the
much
best job you'll
future.
ever do, trust
Oh,
me.
so scary.
So much joy.
It's so scary, genuinely, but like whenever every now and again, me and Hannah will be sat at the dinner table, and we'll start talking about the future or something, and then she'll cry at the thought of them one day moving out when they're like 19. You know, it's so far away.
Yeah.
How old are they?
2. 2. So...
No, you got lots of time, but I don't know. It's a cliche, but it just go really quick.
Oh, I know.
Well, that's good news if you're scared of the future. I mean, that's great. You rattled through it.
That's
We'll be a lot better off.
Right, we're moving on to cars now.
OK.
So apparently we're keeping our cars for longer, but what does your car say about you? The average age of cars on the road in the UK has reached a record high of nearly 10 years as better quality cars are lasting longer. But that means less people are moving over to more eco-friendly models.
Yeah, I think we had the same first car. I was reading.
Did you have a Beetle?
Yeah, I did have a VW Beetle.
Yes, Kay.
Yeah,
I liked
orange
you.
chrome bumpers.
Wow.
I don't.
Wow. Oh, is this your car?
That's not my car, but it looks something like that.
Something
yeah,
like that.
there's
That's
a
incredible.
The winker.
It's like a Transformers
Hey,
movie.
we had very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Mine was
Goodness
a
me.
little bit pinker than
Yeah.
purple,
Wow.
but yes,
I remember
Statement
What happened to
absolutely.
that car? Did you love it for ages?
Now listen,
No, they
Joel,
never-
you know what happened to this car, and that's why you're asking me.
Oh, tell us.
So, yeah, what was yours first?
Well, my car was this Renault Clio.
Classic.
Oh, yes.
From sort of the year 2000. It was fantastic. I used to have a subwoofer in the back of that. It cost more than the whole car. But
Was it one of those that
Yeah, it was
bounced
like
when it was on?
But the
Yeah.
trouble is, my choice of music, I quite liked musicals, talking of Elaine Page later. And so I used to have a subwoofer in this big sort of system. And yeah, it would be like musicals playing out.
Sure. So you'd be cracking a massive Evita.
Exactly.
Leaning back.
Do you the people singing the of angry?
It's a look. It's a hell of
It
a
was
look.
great.
Tom, what was yours?
I had a Peugeot 206 green
Yes.
Roland Garros edition.
Oh, yes,
Sure.
please.
And it became I drove it literally drove it into the ground. It became a portable bin by the end, poor thing. But God, I loved it. First car. You love your first
You
car.
do
so
love
much.
your first car. I remember I found mine because I was literally driving down the street by my mum and dad's house, and it was for sale on a drive with like a little paper thing in the window saying for sale. And unfortunately, I wasn't very aware of the mechanics of a car, and I didn't realise you had to put oil in it.
Yep.
Oh.
So it did set on fire whilst I was driving it on the motorway.
Oh.
That was the end of her.
It's going to ruin your
But
day.
it's hard to know this stuff. This is interesting.
Yeah,
This
it
is
was
what,
quite sad.
apparently, this is what your car says about you. This is what the internet says.
Okay.
If you've got a Mini, you're quirky, fun, stylish.
Sure.
If you've got a Land Rover, Range Rover, you're ambitious, rugged. Vauxhall, down to earth, practical, no nonsense. BMW, confident, driven, image conscious, stereotyped as a tailgater. Have you got a BMW?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
And I'm banging out Evita from the back of it. I don't even mind.
A Ford, you're practical, reliable, no nonsense. The everyday Brit. And convertibles, fun-loving, carefree, image-conscious, possibly divorced. It didn't say that, did it?
Apparently, though, convertibles are not as popular as they once were.
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I used to have a convertible.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've actually
Hey,
got
you've had
one.
very
A convertible BMW.
Yes,
That's-
sir. Yes, sir. I am straight into my early midlife crisis. Don't you worry about it.
But
Get
there's
an
no point in
electric
having a
guitar.
convertible anymore, is there? Because it's either too hot, so you have to put the roof up and put the aircon on,
Yeah.
or it's too cold and raining, so what's the point in having the roof down? Either way, there's no point.
I also did get to a point where I was like, oh, I feel a bit silly now. Yeah, a bit
no way.
self-conscious in a
You
convertible.
embrace it. You put that
Also,
roof
it's not
down.
safe. Not
You get
safe.
the musical on.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing. Is
Yeah.
why you think if we get into an accident, it's got a very
Yeah.
soft roof, and if the car rolls, all these things.
I feel like I'm on telly enough. You don't also want to see me on the street.
Yeah,
you know what I
that is
mean?
true, actually.
That's
true.
the problem.
Avoid
What
you
car
at all
have you
costs.
got now?
Well, I've got an Audi now.
Oh, have
I don't know what they
you?
it wasn't on the list. It wasn't on the list.
Absolute.
What's
Oh, no, it
yours?
doesn't.
I've got a little Mercedes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't know what that
Don't know
says
what that
about
says
me.
about me.
I looked up
Good.
mine.
We'll,
Tom Swarbrick and Kay Burley are with us again to discuss more of today's headlines. We're starting with AI now. Can you spot an AI house? So estate agents are using AI-enhanced images of property listings to try and win over buyers with obviously very mixed results. Should that be allowed?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it says that it's an AI-generated image.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at a property, I've just bought a new property. When I look at a property, first thing I look at is the floor plan. Don't care about the
Right,
pictures.
yeah.
I'm not buying the furniture. generally.
Full square footage.
Yeah, the square footage, and then you can decide whether that shape is going to work for you and your family or not. And if it is, then you'll go and have a look. Because 99% of the time, when you go and look at a property, it doesn't look like what you say, even if it's not been AI generated.
Yeah.
So it doesn't offend me in the slightest.
So it's quite a good idea in a strange way, because it gives you an idea of being able to see what it could look like.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a look at some examples?
Yeah,
Yes,
please do.
please.
Oh, my word. Wow, that looks... Whoa.
So is that
AI?
Is that before or after?
in reality, it
Yes.
looks like... That's what it looks like in reality.
Okay, wow.
Do you know what? You've kind of, by saying that, Kay, you've flipped my opinion. Because when I first heard about it, I was like, what? No, they can't do that because it doesn't feel real. But like you say, if there's a disclaimer, and like what you said, Joel, kind of gives you an idea
that looks lovely.
what it could look like.
That looks absolutely lovely. Where can I get that? Is that the real one?
You can't afford it, darling.
No. Shopping at Liverpool.
I mean, now that, of course, is taking the mickey.
Well, that's
quite difficult because you can't make that into that.
It's entirely self-defeating. If you see that, you go, oh, brilliant, that's a lovely house. And then you
Because those
turn
windows are not there.
You turn up and it looks like that. You're like, well, what am I buying?
As long as it's not... As long as it's transparent and it's accurate and it's not misrepresenting.
Yeah.
So that one's done by Connect UK, and a spokesperson from Connect UK said the image in question was clearly labelled as an artist's impression and was used purely to illustrate the potential of the property, which I think is actually just really interesting.
Yeah.
It was accompanied by multiple photographs of the actual building, allowing prospective buyers to assess both the current condition and the future possibilities. I think it's, you're exactly the same.
You need a disclaimer, don't you?
I feel like it has sort of swapped my opinion in a certain...
That's what we're here for.
I don't like it. I'm sorry.
You don't like it?
Oh, it's an artistic impression of what it looked like, and here's the Lamborghini outside, and here's all the kind of bells and... Well, I don't want that artistic impression. What's the actual thing I'm buying, please?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it's sort of setting you up for disappointment?
It's absolutely preparing me for disappointment.
Look
and
at
I
the
can't
floor
have
plan
that.
first, and if it's not for your liking, then move on to the next one. There's plenty out there.
If you're scared of the future, as you are,
I'm very scared of the future.
You've got to be nervous about the potential of a house.
Well, it's like
that's going to be even more
the classic
terrifying.
Tinder date thing, isn't it? When someone looks amazing on all their photos, and then you go to meet them, and you're like, oh, it's up. If you just look how you look, then you get there and you go, this is what I signed up for.
Is this the property equivalent of... Is it catfishing? I don't know. Is it the property equivalent of that?
Oh, I know. Trust me.
Just to clarify, it's a long time since you were on Tinder.
It's a long time.
Just in case your wife's watching.
I'm not on it now. I'm not on it now. But yeah, it's very interesting. It's very... I don't know what is right. I don't know what's right.
I kind of feel like I just want to be able to see exactly what I'm being offered for the amount of money that you're looking at, right?
No
I
frills.
just bought an apartment in a mansion in Gloucestershire. It looked terrible when I walked in, but I knew what the floor plan was and I knew what I could do with that space. And then it's up to me to make it into... But if you don't feel it when you go to a property, it doesn't matter what they've done to enhance it, does it?
Do you go down the right move wormhole?
Yeah.
Always.
Property floor. Yeah.
Oh,
I've got a friend who's a
it.
police officer, so I'm not sure she's watching. She's on nights at the moment. And she sent me a WhatsApp with a property that was £10 million. She said, but I don't like the kitchen. It's like, you're a police officer. You're not going to be able to afford a £10 million.
Yeah, you've got a dream.
Yeah.
You've got a dream.
It's so fun looking at those.
So good.
Those property YouTubes where you're just like, yeah, it's a £40 million house. You're like, yeah, but I wouldn't move into that. Someone gave it to me.
Far away.
Should comedy be considered an art? Well,
Oh, Joel. Good job
You
you're on
prepped this
the...
one, didn't you?
not when I do it, trust me. MPs have called on the government to recognise live comedy
Look at you there.
as its own distinct art form and ensure the sector can access funding and investment opportunities. Look at me there. Look at that.
Before the haircut.
It's not the greatest photo of me, to be honest. Look at it, I'm petrified.
Was it a good gig?
Probably not, judging by my eyes.
Exactly.
What do you think then, Joel?
Well, I think it's interesting because comedy sits in its own sort of little bracket, I think, sometimes, because people do want to go and watch comedy. It's generally sort of quite a nice, cheap way of going out, where you go to a comedy club. There's loads of thriving comedy clubs in London, especially, and all over the country. Whereas theatre, I know it's more expensive. It's it's might need that funding. Whereas I'll welcome it. I think comedy, it's great and to sort of have some funding, but I think it's slightly different from the other arts. I would say.
It's a performance, though, isn't it? It's you, but a kind of character of you, maybe, or an element of you that's kind of thing. It's performance art for me. The crafting of a joke, the timing of it, the delivery of it. That's art.
In the 1980s, in a previous incarnation of Good Morning Britain, I interviewed the late, great Thora Hird, who was a comedian, Last of the Summer Wine, etc.
Yeah.
And at the end of the interview, I was in my early 20s, I said, "What makes you laugh, Thora?" And she said, she paused, and she said, "BBC hospitality."
Wasn't the same. Never been the same.
It's all about the timing, isn't it?
She should get some funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Edinburgh Festival's obviously on at the moment. This is probably why this has sort of been kicked up to be talked about. But it's which is an amazing place to go, where you see just such a, and there is definitely sort of, like, I would love to see sort of more funding for that. But...
Damn hard though. The Edinburgh Fringe. So many people I went to university with ended up going to the Fringe, and the money you have to lay out for it, 3 people and a dog turn up. Very, very hard to get spotted. But it seems like a rite of passage. You know, if you don't do the Edinburgh Fringe, you're not going to have the... You know, you're not going to be Joel Dommett.
I
don't know how you do it, though. I think it would be absolutely terrifying to get up there and...
Who makes you laugh?
What makes you...
Don't say BBC hospitality.
Yeah.
But which comedian do you think, oh, yeah, I'm going to not scroll past that on YouTube?
Well, yesterday we had Rob Beckett on the sofa, and he's one of the people that just makes me belly laugh. He's just a real comedian, real, like, funny guy. And when you're next to him on any television show, you're in awe of how... Lee Mack is another one. I think he's so good.
Peter Kay for me.
Peter Kay is a great one. And everyone has their favourite comedian. I think it's just a wonderful thing to be a part of. I think it's... I feel very lucky.
Can we go from something you love to something you don't like so much, which is Christmas? He's a bit of a Grinch, aren't you, Joel?
We've got some bells for you.
Is it too early for Christmas shopping?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Ludicrous, Kay. I don't know why to stop
it. If I
it.
haven't finished my Christmas shopping by the end of September, I'm stressed beyond belief. I've done all my Christmas shopping. I've already started my Christmas shopping.
Relax.
So I think it's good to be prepared with Christmas shopping, isn't it? But there are definitely supermarkets that already have Christmas stuff on the shelf.
God.
Are you happy about that, to see Christmas things already?
See, the trouble with this is you need to check the sell-by dates. That's the thing.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, especially with the chocolate. So you think, oh, I'm buying that and putting it in the back of the cupboard, but it'll be out of date before Christmas. So, yeah, there's definite rules that you have to abide by if you're doing early Christmas shopping in order to feel smug.
I would start decorating at the end of September if I was allowed, but I'm not.
But at that point, you might as well just leave it up all year round.
Well, yeah, just carry it through.
Just carry it through.
I hate putting them up 2 weeks before, and then a week later you've got to take them down, and it feels like too much effort.
It's August. Let's live now. We don't need to worry about the future.
I said September, Tom.
Oh, no.
I don't put my... Although I shop early, I don't put my decorations up until the 18th of December. It's my birthday on the 17th. And I'm not having Christmas decorations up until everybody has celebrated my birthday.
Yeah, quite.
Thank you, both.
Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.